Today I want to give you 4 key tips that will help you boost patient acquisition, conversion and upgrades. But before we do that, let's quickly look at what the basic patient acquisition model is. And so if we look at the patient acquisition model, then basically there will be a whole heap of marketing events that we'll do. And this is kind of all in the green background. This list is by no means exhaustive, but there may be events that are organized. There may be something as simple as leaflet drops in your local area to promote the practice or any offerings that we're giving. There may be some marketing that we're doing to attract more visitors to our website, things like Google AdWords, or you may be using search engine optimization. You may be using TV, radio, or even these days social media is a powerful way again of getting more visitors primarily to your website and engaging with consumers through social media to build trust and to really address their problems. So any marketing activity clearly has to have a goal, and the various goals are really shown in the red column which we see down here. So one of the first goals as part of any marketing activity would be to either get them to visit your website or to place a call or even visit your practice. Now, if you're offering refractive surgery, then probably people will not walk in and ask and inquire about refractive surgery. What's more likely to happen is that they will call either a call center or call you or visit your website and then make that all-important call. So that could be defined as one such goal, getting a consumer to make that call, and that might be one determination of the success of your marketing campaign. But it doesn't end there, and that's where crucially it's really important to follow right the way through before you start seeing commercial success, because clearly from that point of that call there are a number of things that must happen before that patient agrees and pays for a particular procedure or a particular product. So let's kind of go through that list of goals that need and milestones that need to occur before we see revenue from the investment we've made in marketing activities. So the first thing is a consumer may make a call to the practice. Now that in itself means that your website needs to have or any promotional material must have a call to action to deliver that first goal. But when they make that call, are your staff able to handle the inquiry? Are they able to deliver further value in order to then convert that call into an actual appointment? And so there is an important metric we need to measure, which is the conversion rate of the call to an appointment. Now that's particularly important for refractive surgical practices rather than optometry-based practices, where patients making a call generally the only dropout will be if your professional fees for an eye exam, for example, may be too high, or there is somebody's not happy with the way they've been spoken to over the phone call. But generally in refractive surgery, this is the point where price or more information or answering a patient's query becomes a key factor in converting that call to an appointment. So it's important to collect the right details, and I'll come back to that in a moment in terms of call conversion. If the call successfully converts to an appointment, then really that consultation has to again result in another conversion. So that conversion from the appointment might be conversion to a person upgrading to more improved services, confirming they want to have surgery with that particular clinic, or even upgrading from one type of procedure to a higher value procedure, for example a standard IOL to a toric or toric multifocal IOL. Within an optometry practice, that conversion rate would be defined as for example adoption of a particular product or service, be that for example contact lenses or purchasing spectacles, and that conversion rate needs to be measured. In fact, all of these touch points need to be measured in terms of conversion rates. Finally, there's an area people often think of surgery as being, I've done the procedure, the patient shouldn't really come back, and of course we hope that the procedure does go well, but there is another key opportunity, which is word of mouth referral. And so that's why I've got this loop going back, because we need to empower our patients who we've managed successfully to really recommend us. So let's delve into the website in a little more detail, because once you've invested all this marketing activity to getting people to your website, so you've achieved the first goal, which is getting them there, the next goal is to keep them there. And so engagement is very, very important. Over 90% of people leave a web page within the first 20 seconds. So having the website aesthetically pleasing, easy to read, and having content that is easy to view is important. There's no point having tons and tons of text on a web page. People do not like reading text, they'd rather watch a video. So try not to talk too much about procedures, because if you do and have too much text and you have little engagement, that is a waste of investment that you've made in marketing activity to get people to your website. If you do engage with them, then what you must do, and your next goal must be, is to have a call to action. And so that could be a simple form to request more information, a book an appointment link, or a big area which shows that they can ring this number to book an appointment now. And so that is your call to action. And again, if you don't have one, you are potentially losing visitors through that investment in marketing. If you do have a decent call to action, then you'll have reached your final goal, which is basically to generate an inquiry, be it a telephone, an email inquiry, or a visit into your practice. Let's have a look at an example of a really, really good website, one which I feel is a great way of engaging. So here we see one of Optimed's customers, and it's called Anderson Eye Care. And here we see information on refractive surgery. We see great content. There is text there, but importantly, people can choose to view this video. There's a sign up for newsletter information. There is also an appointment request. If we move down to treatments, again, you see the various treatments that are offered. Again, very nice, clean website with, again, nice content, nice animation, with voiceover and captions, and an easy way of booking an appointment straight back in. So this ticks all the boxes. It's not complicated to do, and in essence, it's a clear and simple way for a patient to navigate around and make a really quite quick decision to book an appointment with them. I like the fact that they're using also independent review sites, which these days is quite an important aspect. Okay, so we get the call coming in, and remember, this is one area where we need to try and measure a conversion rate. It's important to train staff in this area, and if you use a call center and you're a refractive surgery type clinic or offering elective procedures, make sure you spend time with the call center, make mystery calls in to ensure that they are addressing your patient's needs properly. Being polite and helpful, I know there may be obvious things, but we all have our bad days. We all can be rushed, but it's important to make sure staff are at all times answering calls promptly and, of course, being helpful and polite. Many consumers will ring up inquiring about services. Gathering their needs is important before we can make a decision in order to guide them through to the appropriate type of appointment. We need to provide answers that are factual and more importantly, give them valid information. Now, obviously a receptionist may not have all that information to hand, and so it's having a repository of information that can be sent to a caller could be a really powerful way of further engaging and converting into a physical consultation. So how can we do that? Well, there is a product that you can use, and it's a product that Optimed provides. It's called Captivate Share, which comes part of a subscription to Captivate Plus. So here is my iPad, and you're able to see me maneuvering the screen around, and hopefully you can see it on the screen behind me. So I'm going to click on Captivate Share, which is the app any member of staff can use when they have a call, but you can also use it post-appointment to really cement how well that consultation went and lead to further engagement. So let's say I have a patient who's inquiring about, let's say, the smile procedure. I can quickly go into clinical procedures, which is right at the bottom, and just search for the smile procedure, which I can see right here. I can select that procedure, and if I want to add more content, I can do that. Once I've selected it, I click next, and I'm able to put in my patient's name and email. So very simply typing in my patient's details, we can send an animation directly to a patient. So I'm just going to do that now and put in my own email address and send it directly to myself. So, and I don't even need to type a message, there is a message template already available. Once I see filled in the appropriate information, I just click send, and that information gets sent off to my patient. Okay, let's see what happens and what the patient gets. So I'm going to switch to my email client and just show you if that email has come through. Here is an email which shows you what a patient would see. They would see your logo, the template message, and a link to view that animation. And when they click view this animation, they go to an area online which shows my logo and that particular video on Smile playing and displaying, and they get more information. Of course, I said it's a really good way of getting word of mouth referral. It is, because right at the end of this video, there's a web genie which physically asks patients who have watched this video to share it with their friends and family, or in order for them to request an appointment. And what she's saying is, why don't you share this with your friends and family, and if you like what you've seen, you can request an appointment by clicking on the appointment icon, which she points to just over here. So again, clicking the appointment icon allows anyone who's been shared this animation to again book an appointment straight back in with the practice. So Captivate Share is a really neat way of generating call conversion to appointments, adding that little bit extra to a consumer to build trust so that they are willing to book in with a particular clinic. Okay, so we've dealt with the appointment. The next step is communication. So we've now got to the stage of consultation. And basically, during a consultation, we need to summarize the key findings relating to the patient's needs. And that is critical because a lot of patients feel that consultations really are all about finding what's wrong. They're told what's wrong, but they really don't understand what is wrong with their eyes to the correct degree, or whether a particular procedure, what it entails and what's involved. So this is about building trust, because if a patient doesn't feel that you've engaged with them sufficiently, that results in a lack of trust. Building trust also leads to a discussion on recommended products. So if you're in an optometry practice, discussing products in the consulting room is by far the best approach to increasing conversion rates and potentially the average transaction value of the purchase. And it's how you do that and how you move from a clinical discussion into one of recommendation. And I call it really prescribed recommendation. So the idea of this 1 minute explainer could have the potential to significantly increase conversion rate and average transaction value. So that's the key objective really of the 1 minute explainer, to wow patients and to generate recommendations. That's the key objective. But as a result of that extremely high impact, powerful communication, we know it results in better conversion rate and higher transaction values. Let's give you an example of a sample consultation that I did earlier. Okay, so we've just finished the eye examination now, Christina. Thank you for that. And I just wanted to summarise some of the things we've been doing today. At the front of the eye there is, and this is sort of a virtual model, there is this tear film that coats and lubricates your eye. And when I look at the volume of that tear film in your eyes, it's not as much as we'd like there to be. But also throughout the day, because you're staring at a computer all day long, you should be taking more breaks. but this tear film is evaporating. When I put the dye in, I found that there's also some staining, which again indicates drying in the lower half of your cornea, and that's usually because people also sometimes they don't blink completely, as you can sort of see here. Also because people keep their eyes partially open when they sleep sometimes. So putting in drops, I'll give you the appropriate sort of medication that will help you for that. We also went in and had a look further inside the eye. Inside the eye there is this thing called the crystalline lens, which you sort of see here. It's this kind of onion layered thing, and this is what sort of focuses and helps you focus on objects. And because you do a lot of near work, we also found you're slightly long-sighted, and this means you have to sort of focus a little bit extra when you're doing close work. So one of the problems is a bit of dry eye, but the other thing is to keep your eyes more optimally focused. There is a prescription that could help, although you don't need it day-to-day use. If you're doing a lot of close work, it would certainly help you work more efficiently for longer.
Well, I have noticed, because I work so much on my computer, I have noticed quite a bit of strain on my eyes. They feel quite painful, quite tired at the end
Tired,
of the day.
yeah, I think painful maybe, yeah, but tired, yeah, is something I'd expect to certainly hear. So, you know, that would help. And if you're interested in that, I can get my colleague to have a chat with you about it. The sort of thing you might be experiencing, if I just take you to this simulator, is, again, you know, you can see far, you can read, and if you think about your computer distance, with your long-sightedness, what will effectively happen is when you're looking at this print, it'll kind of come in and out of focus a bit like that.
Yeah, it does,
you get that sort of scenario, and basically when we put glasses in front that correct your prescription fully, you'll find that it will just stay clearer for longer. You won't get that sort of autofocus type thing that you see, you know, when you're looking at a camera and it's sort of flipping in and out of focus. Alright, so finally what else did we do? We moved further inside your eye and looked at the optic nerve. This is where people get glaucoma. You mentioned there is a family history of glaucoma, so we've checked the back of your eye. We also blew some air into your eye to measure the pressure. That was normal. We checked the macula, which is for macular degeneration. You're too young to get that, but also there were no signs of it. And then finally we asked you to look up, down, left and right, and we really scanned all of the peripheral retina as far back as we could go to really ensure that there was no abnormalities or nothing wrong that we could detect. So any other questions, Christina, or perfectly happy with that?
Thank you very much for that.
Great, excellent. So I'll get you to have a chat with my colleague now. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's one really powerful way of using Captivate Plus to engage and to really convert that appointment into either a procedure or, as in this case, a product or service from within an optometry practice. So the final tip, tip 4, is word of mouth recommendation. And by having a great consultation, wowing the patient will undoubtedly lead to word of mouth recommendation. I'd also recommend sharing content using Captivate Share, as I showed you earlier, but worth also sending people an email to review them either on Google or some of the more paid review sites such as Trustpilot and TrustSpot and so on. There's a number of different ones. Important thing though is to leave patients overwhelmed so that they really want to recommend the products and services that we offer. I hope you found this short video interesting and look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you.